Born in Memphis, stayed in Memphis, kind of moved around Memphis a bunch.
I grew up in Weston, Mississippi, which is south of here. And I went to Weston Attendance Center, K through 12th grade, very small school.
Moved to Hernando in my freshman year of high school.
I was a cheerleader, I took dance.
Promised my grandmother I'd get my degree, got my degree, started working, and then was working with Flint Co. and had a friend there, and he and his wife are the ones that introduced me to Mollie.
I met Joe through mutual friends, Allison and Sam Ginn, and Allison was kind of like, y'all look at this picture of him. We were on our way to a wedding and she was like showing everybody.
His name's Sam Ginn. He works out. I was telling him I was wanting to work out, and then he was like, well, just come over to the house, we can hang out, and started doing that. And his wife got into the mix and was asking me if I was dating anybody, and I told her no, and she's like, well, let me try and set you up. And then along came Mollie.
She said, okay, well, I'm gonna get him to text you or whatever. I was like, that's fine, give him my number. A couple of days later, he texted me. He said, hello, Professor.
In my mind, instead of more of a, hello, my name is Joseph Witherspoon, I go by Joe, it was, hey, Professor, what are you up to, or something like that.
Okay, this person's weird, so I didn't respond, and I got in the shower, and when I got out, I had another text, and it said, this is Joe Witherspoon. So I was like, okay, well, he's weird, but I'll text him back.
And we probably texted for about a week before what people would call the first date, which I called the introductory meeting.
At my apartment, he knocked on the door, and I opened it. We'd never met before, and he said, wait 1 second. He got me a ladder because I'm short, and I have problems like hanging things. And so he said, okay, well, I'm gonna get her a ladder.
Instead of flowers, I was just put her to the test and see if she thinks it's funny, if she doesn't, whatever. Wasn't trying to be funny, it was just, hey, kind of seriously, kind of ha-ha, here's a joke, but really use it.
Oh my gosh, this guy's tall. I thought he was so tall, and I thought he was so handsome.
Super nice, very, very beautiful, and she seemed extremely genuine, because most of the time when you meet somebody for the first time, they don't just come out and hug you and say, oh, it's very, very,
I was like, okay, I can handle this, and if Joe's a talker. But I thought, okay, well, if he can talk more than me, we might get along pretty well, because we're always gonna have something to say. I knew I wanted to marry Joe probably the second day we hung out. I called my best friend Kelsey and I said, Kelsey, we are getting married. And she's like, you don't know that. I'm like, no, I'm marrying this man.
The one time that really sticks out in my mind is when my parents from out west were coming into town, and she was over because she was gonna meet him. She had actually fallen asleep on the couch at my house, walked outside, and when I walked back in, I don't know, that's probably the first time where really I looked at her, and it was just kind of one of those that she could be the one.
I think I told my whole family that. I never would have told him that because it would have freaked him out so bad, but I knew right off the bat, like, he just made me feel so good, and he still does, and he's so sweet to me, and he says, you got to have your princess time, and he'll like wrap me up in blankets and let me just lay there and not make me do anything. And so I knew, I'm like, okay, this man will take care of me.
But there was just something about her sitting there, and it was like, just walked in, and it was kind of almost like a pause, and it was just like, and then they walked in, and it was like, that's her right there. The way I remember it is she said, I love you first.
I actually spelt I love you first.
She might tell you different, but that's how I remember it anyways.
So we were at his brother and sister-in-law's wedding, and we had kind of gotten a little argument on our way home. And so we were sitting outside the bed and breakfast where we were staying, and I remember looking at him and I said, I know that you LOVE me. And he was like, what? I mean, he was just taken aback, and I said, you LOVE me.
Starts asking all these serious questions. Do you love me? I'm like, I'm not saying anything right now. Even if I did, I'm not telling you, I just feel like it's too soon to say that. Well, you can spell it out. And she's like, I-L-O-V-E-U. And I'm like, well, that counts. You're the one that said it first, so.
I said, you can't look at somebody the way you look at me and not L-O-V-E them. And he was like, we're not talking about this right now.
That's how I remember it. She said it first. She spelled it out first, technically. Very awkward. The proposal is one that she will remember for the rest of her life.
We had already started planning our wedding because we knew we were getting married, and so he just would not propose to me.
We were at what is, I guess, still my grandparents' house, and you know, awkward, had the ring in my pocket. She didn't know I had the ring because it ended up, well, it's gonna take you 2 months to find the ring, and found the ring in less than a week, had it in less than 2 weeks, and it was exactly per the picture that she had, that she said she wanted. And
he had his hands in his pocket the whole time, and he starts lunging at me. And I was like, what are you doing? You were so weird.
I'd get ready to, and then I'd panic, and then I'd stand up, and then it looked like I was doing lunges in front of her, and then I wasn't doing lunges, and then she stood up, and then I was like, and then I panicked. It's like, okay, I can't talk right now.
He gets on one knee in front of me, and I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, and just didn't say anything. And he just looked at me, and he said, well, and like brought out the ring, but he wouldn't open the box, and it just sat there. And I started laughing hysterically, and I couldn't stop.
I don't even know if I asked her to marry me. I think I said, will you? And she said, you gotta ask me.
And then he said, well, what am I supposed to say? I said, I can't tell you what to say, I don't know. And he said, oh yeah, will you marry me, like that? And then I said, well, put it on me, I don't know yet. And so he put the ring on me, and I said, yeah, I will.
She's like, you're one of the most awkward people I've ever met. I'm like, you will never, ever forget this moment for the rest of your life. So you're welcome.
Joe is my #1 supporter in everything that I do.
She's just there. If I've had a bad day, she'll listen. If there's something I want to get, you know, it's, well, go get it. You go get it. If that's what you want, go get it.
When we first started dating, I had just started my master's program, and I finished it in a year, and he helped me with that.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna do that. It's like, all you gotta do is cook. I'm good. All I need is food, and I'm good to go. But she helps push me to be a better person. Same thing with just personality-wise, is it's, hey, how can I be better for her?
He lets me cry on him, but then he tells me, you gotta get up and you gotta go back to life, because this is life, and you can cry about it, but then you gotta go back to it.
When I start to fall, she's always there to kind of push back, to set me kind of straight and see, hey, I can improve in this area or this area, and then we go forward.
I'm very fierce, and he lets me be that fierce person, and I like that. It's very sweet. I think my favorite characteristic about Joe is his serving heart.
My 2 favorite characteristics of Mollie is she's extremely genuine, and by that I mean she can be extremely blunt, but she's very real when she says it. He
will help anyone that needs it. He will help them even if they don't need it. He helps his family, he helps my family, he helps anybody and everybody. He will be there for them, and it doesn't matter who that person is. He doesn't discriminate against anyone. He is just gonna be there for them.
She loves playing around, and she's just quirky. She's just weird. Same as me though, and that's the nice thing, is it's 2 peas in a pod kind of thing. So.
The characteristic about Joe that drives me crazy is that he talks so much.
She loves everything clean and everything exactly in its place, and it's got to be before. It's a Swiffer every other day, and you're supposed to mop 2 times a week.
When we are anywhere, I have to go, okay, come on. Like, let's go. We've got to go, you know, we've got to be there in 10 minutes, or we've got to do this, because he talks nonstop, and he tells every detail that doesn't need to be told.
It's not annoying. I've just got to learn to be more clean, is all that is. And hopefully she'll come down and meet me in the middle just a little bit, just a little bit.
5 years from now, I see us hopefully having 1 child.
Well, 5 years from now, I told her we'd be going to Greece as our 5-year anniversary.
And just spending our lives together, growing our family, being able to lead each other spiritually, and having just an awesome, awesome marriage.
You know, 1 or 2 kids, live in a house, hopefully one that we've either built or renovated, living life, enjoying each other, enjoying the family if we have a family. We're so, you know, we're blessed enough to have a family. And
I know we'll be happy, but I just see our family growing a lot.
I am extremely excited to start life with you.
Joe, I'm so excited to be your wife. I cannot wait to see what God does in our marriage and how He allows you to lead me and what we can do as we walk beside each other as a team.
Just being around you, I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy being there when things go bad. I enjoy you when things go bad for me.
And just see how our family grows and what all we can accomplish as the Witherspoons.
I'm looking forward to it, and thoroughly, I'm very, very much in love with you, and I cannot wait to do this with you.
And I love you.
I love you, Molly. Can't wait for it.